Hello, my name is David. I am an electrical engineering student at a four-year university, and I'm just gonna make this video kind of just about the things that I wish I knew back when I first had started my journey for my bachelor's in electrical engineering. So I wanted to put this out there for others to use as a guide to kind of, lead them on the right track in their educational pursuits. So I think the first thing that I really want to focus on is, yes, engineering is a really hard degree. But like they say, comparison is the thief of joy. If you don't compare yourself to anybody else, engineering's not that hard. If you take a look at what others are doing, yes, it's going to seem like you're doing, the most whenever they're doing the least. But if you don't compare yourself at all to anybody, then you're just in your own lane. You don't know what hard is or easy is because you're just doing what you're doing and you're focusing on yourself. So I want to say that first. Some of the things that I realized when pursuing this degree and, kind of very time demanding. I do spend a lot of my time studying for exams and things of that sort. But the biggest problem that I had my first semester was that I decided, I was like, you know what, like I want to get my basics out of the way and so I can just focus on my degree. Terrible. Don't do that. I basically just ran through all my basic classes talking about my, English 1, English 2, History 1, Gov and Eco, and my like poli-sci classes. I just went through all them all. And I was like, oh yeah, like, this college stuff is easy. But then like I did that for my first and second semester. I go into my third semester and bro, oh my gosh, when you're just loaded up on STEM classes, I'm telling you, I was taking Chem, Calc 2, digital systems, physics for engineers lab, digital systems lab, and I believe there was one more class, but nonetheless, what I'm telling you, doing that is one of the biggest mistakes because you just have, no room to breathe. Like you have no class that you're like, oh, okay, I'm excited to go to this because like, I need a break from, STEM. Like you're constantly basically just on top of everything, or you have to be on top of everything. So that goes into my next, I guess, idea or segment, is that, give yourself some space to get rest from everything. So I'm talking like physical health wise. I like to run and I like to go to the gym and stuff like that. It's a really good aid for balance in your life. You need to have balance or else like you're not going to make it through. You can't just consistently be devoting your time to education because then, it's less valuable to you as a person because it's just, oh, this is just all I spend my time on. Like it's not going to have as much value if you can contrast it with other things. I'm a big believer in balance, so look at it as almost a way to, give yourself a break from other things. So I believe that if you were to look at it in the way that, oh, okay, I'm at the gym, I get a break from school, or I'm doing a 4-mile run, I get a break from the gym and I get a break from school. Oh, I'm doing some assignments or some classwork, I get a break from, everything else. Like it has to go like that. Like everything's just a resting period from the other things that you're doing in your life. That helps a lot with balance, and I think that's a good way to not overwhelm yourself and overload your mind with all this like very complex topics. Another thing, I had set very insane goals like my first semester. I had this huge idea of transferring to this other university. That's the university that I'm at is a branch of this university, so I had this idea that I was going to transfer out to that university and do all these things. But in order to do that, I had to have a very competitive resume. So I told myself I was going to get an internship my first year. I was going to do all this stuff. And yeah, I want to say that this is like a big problem in the engineering space. Breaking in, the barrier to entry is pretty high. You can have this degree and, you graduate and then nothing comes of it because you didn't do the right things during your undergraduate time. And believe me, although it is not something that is okay to be doing, I don't think it's okay that an entry-level job requires, 2 to 3 years of experience. But it's just something that we have to deal with. So I think that, setting reasonable goals is really good to help you get there. Now, my biggest thing, I don't know if you can see that, but I have a whiteboard in the back of me. I use that whiteboard literally every day. I'll write down like my biggest goals and my things that I want to achieve. Now, why is this important? Because you can tell yourself all that you want. Oh, I'm gonna do this. Oh, I'm gonna do that. And I had this huge problem of like, basically just like talking and doing like no delivery. I had no delivery. I would say that I'm gonna do something, and I would never like follow through with it. I thought, that I was gonna be something big, uh, like somewhere somehow, but you can't expect extraordinary things like performing as an average, person. You can't, think that, if I perform just like everybody else and I do the same things that everybody else, I'm gonna get an extraordinary result. No, that's not how that works. You need to be doing, putting in your work, be delivering on your word, especially, um, and things of that nature. What I do is, yes, like I said, write it down, because it kind of makes things a little bit more concrete. When you visualize and you see these things in front of your face, you're like, you feel more compelled to complete the task. It's there. It's taunting you. It's like, I need to complete that because I told myself that I was going to complete it. And now you're doing it for yourself rather than for other people. I think that's a big thing. So, breaking into the space is another thing that I want to talk about. This is a thing that I wish I really knew how to do in my first year, because it would have been so much easier. Now I'm on my second year of college, or going on to my second full year. So I'm on my fourth semester as an electrical engineering undergraduate. And like, it seems harder than it is. Breaking into the space is pretty easy, so first I want to say number one thing to do when you're trying to break into the space is reach out to your professors. Now, a lot of your professors, although they are entry level, so say that they are, teaching your calculus 1, calculus 2, algebra, your intro to like electrical engineering classes, these these people are all, either PhD graduates or master's students still working on some sort of research project or project in general. Now, the best thing that I have started doing is, every time after my first class, they have no idea who I am. I go up to them and I introduce myself, like, hello, my name is David, and I'm interested in doing this, this, and that. And I ask them, are you in any research space, or are you working on any projects that I can help you on? And 9 times out of 10, they're gonna tell you yes. So that's really important. That's your foot in the door, and not only that, but you're making a really big connection. Like, these connections are huge, and you want to open as many doors as you can, and that's the best way to do so. So I think that's huge. Additionally, working on projects solo, I have yet to do that, but I'm working on something right now. I probably will be posting some videos about it, but it involves AI, and although I'm an electrical engineer, it's good to have diversity in your portfolio, and your resume. Working on solo projects is a huge thing. It shows the dedication that you have to your craft, and how badly you want to enter this career space and have a future in electrical engineering or your engineering space. So I think that's a huge thing. Another one is time management. You're going to be dealing with a lot of big course loads. So I'm talking like you're going to have to devote numerous amounts of hours to understanding the concepts, because in engineering, it's not about, being able to spew out whatever the professor is giving to you. It's not like that at all. You have to understand these complex topics, and devoting hours of your time to studying and understanding is just the only way that it's going to happen. So you have to be really good with your time management. Myself, currently, I am taking about 5 classes. Last semester I took 8, and time management is key. It is key amongst, or above all things. Um, I think that's one of the things that I kind of lack on, but I am working on it. You need to be able to get an assignment assigned and do it as fast as possible, but make sure that you are spreading them out so you don't get burnt out. Now, although that seems like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to do an assignment every day, like that seems terrible. Why don't I just do them all in one day? Because you get burnt out, and additionally, you're not, learning to the best of your abilities. If you spread it out, that becomes your new average. That becomes your new, median amount of work per day. So if you do something consistently, it doesn't feel like work anymore. It feels more as if it's just, you're just day to day. An analogy to this is if you put 5 pound weights on your legs and you walk around with them for, I don't know, like say 3 weeks, those 5 pound weights no longer feel like 5 pound weights, and it just feels like an extension of your body. Same, it goes hand in hand with what I was just talking about, that you have to, make these your new average, or make these your new daily average, or else, it's just always going to feel like a task, and it's always going to feel like a lot of work. But if you just do it every day, it becomes less of work and more of just, oh, this is just my day-to-day thing. Additionally, kind of reiterating on the whole research thing, clubs and organizations are really good to meet people. Now, it's not going to give you, this huge leap in your career, but it will put you in the same room as people aspiring to be professionals like yourself. So, what do I mean by this? I think that if you want to be around a specific type of person, someone that is dedicated and driven just as you are, then it is good to join these clubs and organizations, to be in their presence, and you also will learn some things. The person I am today is solely based off of the people that I've met in these organizations. Now, I thought, it's not a comparison kind of thing, but these are the people that you are going to be competing against for, whatever job position that you're interested in. So what that means is that if this person's doing X amount of things, you should be doing something similar or on par to be able to be competitive with them. So like I said, the person I am today is because of these people that I've met in my organizations and clubs. Like I met this guy in my organization for rocketry and telemetry, and he's working on PCB designs and circuits on his own with whatever little materials he has. He's making the most out of it, and it shows a lot. Now, electrical engineering is not my main focus, or it's my major, but I am more focused on the legal aspects of it all and becoming a patent attorney. Meeting people in the pre-law space has had a more profound effect on me than meeting people in the engineering space. So I see people working on publications. I see people working on theses. They have a number of years racked up at an internship at a law firm. They not only are doing a single major, but they are doing a double major. They are part of so many organizations and clubs. And, seeing that, it kind of gives you an idea of what you're going to be going against and who the best of the best really are. So, and the best of the best, I'm telling you, are not sitting around in the library, doing nothing. They are in these clubs. They are trying to find some way to get an edge on the person that's next to them. And I think that's a really good way to get a grasp of, who is going to be going into your field and who are you going to be competing against for these jobs. And to finish off this video, I want to say the most important thing in your first 2 years of college, before you start, your large course loads of just major specific classes, is going to be finding people that are interested in the same things that you are interested in. Kind of going back to the whole clubs and orgs thing, it's good to surround yourself with people that are like-minded, that want to be great at what they do, and are driven to become proficient in whatever skill that they are acquiring. This is important. You want people to push you forward and not drag you down. The college experience is not about, going out, partying, and so on and so forth. It's about expanding your mind and your knowledge and everything in that relation. Although, yes, there is time for fun, I think the most important thing that I've picked up is the mindset to work hard now and rest later. Now, does that mean I'm going to work hard for, all of my 20s? No, I'm probably going to go do something somewhere. But what I'm trying to say is that you don't want to do mediocre work now and then live a mediocre life. You want to do hard and good work now and live a good life later. So the fruits of your labor will pay off eventually, and they will pay dividends. You need to understand that doing the work now will result in so much more than what you think it will later, and it will give you an easier life because of that. If any of you have any questions, I'm going to leave my Instagram linked below. Yeah, just message me there if you want any other insight or anything like that.